So this is where they wanted me to go.
Welcome back, Dr. Reid. Would you like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his believers. Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So, true to your word, you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reid, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
This shelter is the tip of the iceberg. You hide your game well, I'll give you that.
We are God's children, Dr. Reid, one and all, and he's determined to save us.
What will be the result if you continue to assist both skals and the living?
For the last decade, that's what's been happening. And they found a better life. What's to change?
You're forgetting the epidemic. Things can go south very quickly. I've seen it.
Oh, these are terrible times. Only those pure of heart shall prevail.
You've turned skal now. Don't you see the danger to anyone giving you their trust?
We are all sinners, awaiting salvation. This is a simple truth, ordained by the Lord Almighty. I am a seeker of his glorious light.
Does this place belong to you? How can you be so certain you can keep it open?
This warehouse was once property of the Dawson family, but has been bequeathed me through donation.
The Dawsons? The wealthiest family in London? Have they a clue as to what goes on here?
Not at all. The donation was made before the war. The building was run down. I never met Aloysius Dawson myself.
So you have the run of the place and no one's taken notice?
As long as we keep to ourselves, we interest no one. This is a haven, and I pray it remains so for eons to come.
Harriet, Miss Jones, has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old Bridget. She's the guide Harriet requires.
Who is this old Bridget?
I don't know, Doctor. She rarely speaks of her past, but I know she has a long one. She's likely the oldest soul in the city.
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger skals, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
We have been blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of his divine will. We shall feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I will strive to emulate your merciful nature, Sean, but it's a difficult pledge to make.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges. You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned. What is going on there? It's one of those things where I almost need more explanation for what some of these options are. First of all, he says, I am certain you've killed no one. That's like impossible to be certain of because of the sheer amount of bodies being dropped in every corner of the map at all times, period, just constantly. Like, it's all that ever happens. And he just has a basement full of bodies. Like, how do you know he didn't kill any of them? Spare and embrace are straightforward. Spare means do nothing, embrace means kill him in my vampire way. Turn. You sacrifice 500 experience in the process. You heal through my blood. Turn. I'm not that bothered by the idea of losing some experience. But I'm trying to figure out exactly what turn means. Does it mean turn him into a full vampire? Is that a thing I even know? Why does my character know how to do that? What are these strange abilities my character just whips out and he's so aware of, even though he's new at this? And yet I'm not sure what he means. Okay, so I'll admit that I cheated. Because I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Because as you probably noticed, I'm still frustrated by the fact that last chapter there was two choices. Spare and kill, and then a third choice that wasn't really explained and you couldn't quite tell what it meant, and they're like, yeah, just pick that, it'll be fun. And then it's like, by the way, everyone's been wiped out, now she's a vampire and everything's fucked, and yeah. And I'm like, that's not what the dialogue choice said. It kind of said nothing though. It kind of didn't explain at all what it was supposed to do, and then a weird, unpredictable outcome happened. And I've had this whole discussion before about how, like, I'm cool if I make a decision that I understand and then an unexpected outcome happens from that decision, that's fine. But not understanding what the decision itself is incredibly frustrating. Especially because I'm playing as the character who's making said decision, so I should know what it means. And so, I've tried to research what turn means without actually looking into any of the future spoilers of the game or anything like that. As far as I can tell, what happens is that if you turn him, it makes him not have cravings anymore, so it makes him probably safer to do the job that he's doing, as opposed to just letting him run rampant or killing him. But what the fuck? That's not what that says. Turn. You will heal through my blood. What? I'm like, my first impression is like it would make him look more human because he physically looks like he needs to be healed because his face is all screwed up. Although I think those are just pock marks. I don't think those heal. But aside from the actual gouge on his forehead, I mean. But turn is the word you use for making somebody a vampire, isn't it? Like when you make a human into a vampire or into a skal or something. But he's already a skal. And as far as I can tell, based on descriptions online, turn makes him just not crave anymore, but he doesn't change his state of being a skal, which he already is. So as far as I can tell, like, the dialogue choice kind of just lies to you about what it does, just like last time, where it also didn't even vaguely tell me what it was going to do. I've been enjoying this game, but this thing where you meet a pillar of the community and then you get 3 options, and the third option is confusing and unclear and baffling and steeped in vampire lore they're not being clear of, and maybe even contradicting itself in its own terminology, is like, what? I feel like I should highlight this, and like a Pillars of Eternity style drop down fucking like tutorial message should fill up half the screen and explain what the fuck the thing actually means in universe, because instead they give me almost nothing, because most of the message is spent just telling me that I'll lose some experience and not actually telling me what the thing does.
My discoveries. Vampire blood would enhance your metabolism, perhaps even heal you, if what old Bridget says is true. I'll give you some of mine.
I'd rather not. It would be extremely awkward.
You have no choice, Sean. It's the only way to protect your cheptel, those still amongst the living.
No, Dr. Reid. God made me this way. Who am I to disobey his will?
You believe that God's plan was for you to be abandoned at birth.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
I can't imagine God intended for you to be molested by a priest in an orphanage. Drink, friend.
No.
I said kneel and drink. Now.
New citizens are available to kill. That's how I get my experience back. This district will soon suffer the consequences of your action. Suffer is hopefully not the word for it. So am I supposed to believe that that entire option where I just did a crazy leap of logic and made up a new vampire power for myself without a lot of confirmation, was that entirely based on the fact that old Bridget said that vampire blood's super nourishing? And so I just made the leap of, I'll feed him some vampire blood and then he won't eat people. Is that just the leap I made? But even then I called it turn, but that's not what turn means. So I'm still really confused by what they were going for with like half the way they present this choice. And it's like, it seems so mishandled. It's weird because a lot of this game is done well, but I feel like these are the big choices of the storyline, right? Or the big choices you make during the choices that you make during the actual main story chunks, where you confront a character who affects an entire district and they're really important and you make the choice of their fate and they can't even make the actual outcomes of your choices clear. It's like a weird mess, and you think that it feels like it's a poorly handled thing where they barely paid attention to how they presented the information, which is confusing to me because it's like the single thing that they should probably have the most scrutiny on, right? What the fuck happened here?
Corpse thrown in the streets. Someone's playing a very sick game. I know this brooch. This is my mother's. A birthday gift from father.
So no one finds it suspicious you just took an item off of a murder scene? I mean, you could excuse yourself by explaining like, oh shit, this is mine. Except that would be even worse, because then they'd be like, you killed him! So it's just a really weird, suspicious action I just went for, where I just took that.
29 Pretty Orchard Street. That's near Poplar's district. Why would this man carry off my mother's brooch? I must go there.
Seems like someone's making a threat at your family. An old and elegant brooch belonging to Jonathan's mother. A cheap leather wallet found in a corpse left in front of Sean Hampton's night shelter. The wallet contains official paper of reparation and demobilization and the address of the victim, 29 Pretty Orchard Street. Pretty Orchard Street. I'll be the judge of that. No orchard gets to call itself pretty. I'm mesmerized level 3 now. What's this zone like? It's stable. I'm gonna go eat the murder man. Because now I can afford... Oh, I don't have his secrets yet. I need his last secret. Shit. Hey Rufus, do you know any secrets? You know any spooky secrets of the mass murderer? Like, he's a mass murderer. Not that I'm not.
Good evening, Mr. Throgmorton.
Dr. Reid, can I be of any assistance? Have you noticed anything suspicious lately?
The two corpses, for starters. The two corpses are a pretty strong example.
You've never faced, let alone killed, a vampire, Ichabod. You're a fraud.
No, I'm not. I may embellish the truth concerning my achievements, but I'm totally dedicated to my quest.
You have courage, Mr. Throgmorton. Perhaps that is all one requires to face the demons.
Nope.
Thank you, Dr. Reid. You'll see. One day I'll find and kill one of these monstrosities with my own 2 hands.
Hint failed. Oh, that was a... I didn't even know that was a conditional thing. Shit. Didn't even know it was time for that. Oh well, I don't really plan on killing him necessarily. Unless he attacks me. Man, maybe courage is all you need. No, he's an idiot and he's gonna die very quickly when he fights a vampire, and it won't matter how courageous he was.
Did you see what happened to him?
Actually, yes. He was thrown from the roof like a vulgar log.
Why is it that you sound so afraid?
You didn't see it. He was dead before he hit the ground. The strength required to do such a thing, well, it beggars belief.
Who could have done that?
Who? Well, a vampire, of course. Look, bite marks on the neck and lacerations here. There is definitely a vampire close by.
There's definitely a vampire close by.
Goodbye. And good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton.
Am I the only one that feels like this scenario is strangely presented? Like, I would expect that you would make your big decision about that guy, and then the moment that scene's over, thump! Ah! And then you come out here and like, oh no, what's happened here? And then you investigate the murder. Instead, I just casually walked out here and was like, huh, guess there was a murder. And like, if it happened earlier and the reaction to it happened earlier, the idea that Sean's just casually sitting around eating human flesh in the other room and having a nice chat with me and like as if this isn't happening just makes it all the more weird. It's super odd that I just walked out on here like there was no pomp and circumstance to it.
Glad to see you again, Mr. Reid.
That's a weird greeting to have considering the situation.
Did you see what happened?
No. I was coming back to the shelter from work when I heard an awful scream, and there was this man, dead, just in front of the building.
You saw nothing at all?
No. I told you, just that awful woman's scream.
A woman's scream? Are you sure?
Of course. It was terrifying. I thought it was my sister, so I ran. But it was a man I've never seen round here before.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
A woman's scream, so it's probably our mother's scream. And this guy had her brooch when he fell, which seems to imply that our mother was on top of this building for some reason, with probably a vampire, I would assume. Unless there's no vampire involved at all, and she just, like, shoved him, because he was attacking her on the roof. But that seems unlikely, because why is she even there, and what's the scenario of that? It seems more likely that a vampire has gone after her, probably because of connections to me, because someone's clearly asking about me, and this guy was caught in the crossfire or something and fell after grabbing her brooch or something like that.
You again? What do you want?
Yeah, you should like me more now, right?
I've identified the men who stole from you. You were right. They were members of some self-proclaimed militia.
I knew it! Did you find the money, too?
Yes, here it is. They thought they could finance their activities with it.
I never thought a man like you would be kind enough to... I misjudged you. Badly. Well, thank you, sir.
Will you give the money back to your comrades, then?
Fuck those bastards who fired me. I'll give the money to Miss Gillingham. Her son Jack was a friend of mine. He was killed recently.
I know you were friends with Miss Gillingham's son, Jack. Tell me about his death.
Jack's murder has been a shock to the neighborhood. A sign that the situation is now out of control.
Why is that?
There has always been tension between the Wet Boot Boys and members of the trade union. But a murder? That's a first.
Who killed him?
No one will ever know. One thing is certain. While Jack was alive, I had one less reason to drink.
Why does that upset you so much?
I wish I had found the time and words to tell him how important he was to me before it was too late. Another failure for Giselle Paxton.
Did you see what just happened?
No, I didn't. And I don't care.
Really? Why is that?
Because this sexist pig is one of the 4 men who blacklisted me. Good riddance, if you ask me.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Specific spite. Yeah, just talking to her and turning that quest in gave me half the experience I lost from hopefully fixing up this dude. We'll see what happens to him. If I ate him, he'd be 6,000 experience. But it seems like not the smartest call for this environment. Gillingham. Yeah, you're Fishburne. There's Enid Gillingham. I haven't met her yet. But one of the quests is about them. Right, because I found Jack Gillingham's corpse, right? And his watch. So I have the chance to give it to her. But I haven't found them since. You're recovering, you're recovering. I still need to treat you, but I need to find you first. What's this one? The 5 posters. We're getting a lot done here. Like the most quest-dense part of the map so far. Yeah, 7 quests, but we're actually just cruising on through those. How do I find your secret? Probably via Rufus, considering Rufus has so many of them. It's funny because I know so much about Seymour and we've covered so many details, yet somehow I only have 2 clues. Just due to the other stuff just kind of not counting that way.
It's locked, all right.
Trying to open the other one. There we go. Well, shit. It's a long fall. It's a long fall. So we're supposed to go find him in the borough. He's out of the docks. Okay. So I want to finish exploring the docks then, before I do anything else. I want to feed on that one guy. I kind of want to feed on at least 1 person per chapter just to kind of keep a vampire lust going on, basically. Since I'm not doing a pacifist run.
Informing London's inhabitants of the presence of vampires. What does that make me? A double or a triple agent?
Nobody knows. See, I'm not a bad guy. I'm putting anti-vampire posters up. What the fuck do you guys think of that, huh? Don't even know how to process that, do you? Whoopsie. Turns out I'm not to be trusted. My bad. He exploded. Yay. That looked really uncomfortable. You alright? Hey there. There we go. Oh man, that was a nice refreshing lunch break. Now to put up more anti-vampire posters. Oh hey, how you doing? Ow, rude. There we go. You wandered off from the rest of your group, and they died without you. You goofed it. You goofed it up bad, dude. At this point, I'm kind of embracing it. My character keeps being like, "What are you, some kind of murderer?" In all of his dialogue. Like, no matter what dialogue I choose, he finds his way to be all like, "What are you, a murderer?" Like, accusatory, and as if, like, he would never do a kill, ever. So at this point, I'm, like, happy to embrace the hypocrisy, and have him be that guy that's constantly accusing everyone else, or judging people, but then he'll totally kill someone, like, once a chapter, or even more. But he'll justify it, he'll rationalize it, he'll come up with excuses for why it's okay when he does it, because that guy was a murderer. that guy was a gang leader, and he'll keep coming up with excuses for why he does it. What the fuck is that sound, and where is it coming from? Is it under me? Is it gonna be one of the bat things? Oh, that's boring. You're not a bat thing. He exploded so hard. Boring. He was just a screecher. One of the ones that teleports around, I think. They've dropped hints of giant bats I'm gonna fight. I want to fight a giant bat. To add in with my werewolf fights that aren't werewolves, and also they got giant curvy booties with no tail at all, which is like it's a weird look, but at the same time, the idea of growing a tail is crazy. That's so many brand new like bones that aren't in the human body. But it looks really weird to see a werewolf that's just got a butt. It reminds me of the booty boars from Wind Waker, where I'm just like, why is their butt so pronounced? That's really just all I can see. By the way, Zelda fans really love it when you, instead of saying the name of a monster, you make up a new one and then commit to saying that new name for the entire playthrough instead of what they're officially called according to the canon. They're really fun like that. They love fun. Zelda fans love fun and are really fun at parties. But that's always been a thing that stood out to me about Worgen too, is that in World of Warcraft, Worgen just don't have tails. Just Worgen don't have tails, and in this game, the wolves don't have tails. It's odd. I'm gonna get this guy killed if I do his quest, aren't I? I feel like he's gonna be like, aha, I found a vampire, and then just be super dead. And the game's gonna be the poster's pure black. Lighting engine. We've seen this before. Did I walk in here earlier? Maybe. Ooh. Where is this? There's a woman dead in here and a note by her, but I can't read it. I just figure I'd want to read the weird note by her corpse. It might be informative about why she's dead. But it did not seem interactive. Did I hear a baby crying nearby? Like, does she have an unaccompanied baby that she's left behind in her death? There's lots of random collections of shillings of her. Oh, they've been doing gambling in here. I don't know if that's illegal or not in London in this specific time era, so I don't really... actually don't know if this is just like a normal establishment or an illicit one. Here. A voice. Whose voice? Who's doing a talkie? Oh, I may have wandered my way into an actual new area full of NPCs, which is one of my goals. Gotta find Miss Gillingham, for starters. Which is a name I keep alternating between whether I do a hard or a soft G every time I say it. Is that guy talking to me? I think he's talking to me. Oh, he was like talking to me through a wall at first. What was that icon? Oh, it's a poster location. At first I thought the game was saying I could talk to somebody through the wall or something. I'm like, the powers are spreading. Spooky rooftop access. I wonder if they won't let you in, but then you get the option to come in through that hole in the ceiling later on. I've done that before. I may have found my way into somewhere. Where am I? Just the central spot of the Western Docks, which I guess I haven't been inside yet. Alright. They give us a chance to meet some people.